All right. Hey, good morning, guys. Sunday, November 13th, 2022. This is my video trade journal that I make for myself, and I share it because some guys like it. I'm a short term trader, scalper, day trader. So if you're into like holding a large portfolio of equities, this video is probably irrelevant for you. I always start with the weekly just to get a sense and then drill down and try to find something actionable. Spoiler alert, at the moment, I don't have an actionable trade. It's been kind of crazy, but let's take a look. So the weekly, this structure's been on here for months, and did it bottom? Maybe, maybe not. What is of interest is price cannot seem to get above this 100 fib. Once, twice, three, 4 weeks, 4 different weeks, right? 4 out of 7 weeks it's tried to get above that 100 fib, and it can't. Those are just some facts. And looking at the posture of these technicals, as I learned long ago, is when you're looking at these technicals, if they're coming up but they're still below their center lines, then the way you view it is this is an uptrend in the context of a downtrend still. So here's the downtrend, and then here's the uptrend in the context of this larger downtrend. So, I'm not taking trade signals off a weekly, but I do like to just see what it's doing because sometimes it is really helpful. Like on the way down with this squeeze present, the weekly, and this crossover and staying below, and MACD crossed over and stayed below, and this momentum tool on the got below the center line and kept the momentum going down. Well, you can see now the momentum has been coming back up, but it can't make a higher high. It just keeps making higher lows. But the top is, there's a brick wall right here at 93.62. Oh, good job, Ellington. Way to go. Sorry. So that's a weekly. So inconclusive uptrend within the context of a downtrend, can't get above the 100% fib. Oh, and then now when I look at this, just because of what this is doing and all the substructure crap inside of here, I don't know. I'm just going to do this. I have no idea about timing or anything like that, but I'm just tired of looking at this structure, so I'm going to just do this. As long as it's staying below here, and clearly the downside pivot is very important. So bulls really, you need above a 101 to get anything going and have all these technicals bullish. That's the weekly. So the daily just gives you a little more detail of what I was just showing you. So this bounce is between the 236 and the 382 of this entire move down. So is this wave 4 territory? Absolutely. This is the downside pivot, as you can see. And is it that much of a stretch to see crude give you a fifth wave that extends a little bit? You get down here to the mid 60s or even much lower. Sure it can. So, but technically, there's a kind of a weak, is this really a negative divergence here? You have a double top. Well, that in itself is kind of interesting, a double top. So couldn't this be just a double top for wave 4? You've got a hint of divergences. This tool prints divergences, and it hasn't printed one yet. But you can just see visually, price made this double top, and it used, excuse me, what's up, Ellington? Oh, okay. Thank you. Thanks for showing me. I'll be done in just a second. So, there's a little bit of a divergence here on the daily, but, it's not too exciting. But it's there. Anyway, so, okay, that's the daily. You can see these fibs for yourself. 4 hour, you can just kind of see how the double top is here. Now, here's where it gets a little interesting. So if you're a bull, right, you just know this is the bottom. You're counting this as 5 waves up, 3 wave correction, and now we've got a 1, 2. Okay, well, fine. So if you're a bull, then you need to get above 93.64. Well, we just said that over here on the daily. It needs to get above that double top. All right? So if you're a bull. But guess what? If you're a bear, this is a 1, 2 to the downside. And this is another 1, 2 to the downside, and this is another 1, 2 to the downside. So, if you're a bear, right? So there's a little something here for everybody. You're going to see what you want to see. I'm trying to just see what is. And what is there's no setup on the 4 hour. There's no setup so far on anything that I've shown you. Just a little bit of Elliott wave, but it's not clear. So, if this is going to come back up, it's got to get above this high, 93.64. But look at this structure. It looks like 3 up. Well, the thing has been moving in 3s for 4 months. There isn't a standard impulse anywhere. The cleanest impulses you can find are C waves in either direction. So it's kind of like, I don't know what's going on. What I will say is there was a wonderful divergence Thursday morning, positive divergence that led to an incredible trade. And I took it off at 87.12, I think it was. I posted it in the room, but I only took 20% off. But this kind of divergence is really a great setup, and I'll totally give weight to it. Even though this tool didn't, at this scale, didn't print the divergence. Yeah, it didn't print it, but you can just see it visually very easily. Actually, it did print it on the 21 really well. Look at this positive divergence on the 21. So that's the kind of setup that I get big for, I get heavy for, and that's what happened. I had my full size, like I can't go any bigger long here, and I took 20% of it off. But this divergence really played out beautifully. So 3 up, right, to the 618. So if you're a bear, you're liking the fact that this didn't get above the 618 of this move down, and then it had this move down. But then it had to move up. So what in the heck is going on here? Well, I think I have really clear parameters. There's no setup on the technicals front, but this is where Elliott wave comes into handy. You can count this any way you want. I'm not a great counter. I can measure stuff, but leave it to the professionals, right? And also at this scale, there's a reason why the pros aren't posting crude oil charts at this scale, because it's just crazy. It's unreliable. So they've figured out, like Arcady has figured out, that there's a sweet spot between like the 1 hour and the 4 hour that you get more reliable signals. And even those signals aren't, I wouldn't say, terribly reliable in this environment. It's crazy. Changing the count every other day. You can't trade that. Well, you can if you want. I'm not trading that pure Elliott wave stuff in crude oil because you get killed. Just my personal. But I am using Elliott wave all the time, but I'm just using it in combination with technical indicators. So back to Elliott wave at this scale, 13-minute chart. A, B, 1, 2, 3, 4, one more high for 5. But guess what? This would still be corrective. So this is still a 3-wave move. It just gets one more high in the context of a 3-wave move. So this is the parameters really. Either it's going to make another high locally here. This is what I'm thinking. Doesn't mean it's going to happen. It's just me thinking out loud for my trade journal. So keep that in mind. So if it comes up into here, this will be the next. Hopefully, there'll be some other technical setup short. Because and even if this is a 1, 2, like this is 1, then you're still going to get a pullback for wave 2. So either way, if this doesn't crap out from here, then I'll be looking for it to crap out from up here. So call it 91 to 92 for one more high on this little nano structure. 91 to 92 is resistance. And then if you just really want to get crazy or drill down one more level just to see the levels. So technically above 90.10 is going to allow for this to be a 5th wave of C that I was just showing you over here. So 5th wave of C, in order for that to happen, it has to get above 90.10. And then if this is really correct and that this is already done, that is the top of wave C for wave 2 to the downside, then this is wave 1 to the downside. This is wave 2, and then maybe can it come back up a little more? Sure, but what you want to see is you want to see it get below this level, because just the way I'm measuring this, if this is bullish, then it needs to hold somewhere in here and then make a new high and then keep going, right? Because it would be in the wave 3 of some degree if that's happening. Whereas if it goes down and loses this level and loses 87.57, then that could be possibly wave 3 to the downside. So this is like, I know it's maddening in some ways, but it's also great to have these clear parameters. So for a short-term scalper day trader, do what you want in here, but above 90.10, I think it's much more likely you're going to get to 91.50. And then, yes, Miles, you can. Thank you for asking so quietly. Appreciate it. And then if you're a bear, you want to see it get below 87.95. Just for starters. That's all. So You know, and I don't have any technical setup on any time frame that's like tradable, like the way this one was. So that's the deal. Okay, I hope this is helpful to anybody, and good luck. Don't get killed. See ya.